Good afternoon, this is Clarence from Singapore. Today I'm going to start on a series on Reality Capture. So my first video is actually how to use RealityScan, the mobile app, to do 3D scan and export into Unreal Engine 5.5. So how do we start? Actually, we're going to use the RealityScan software, and then when I open it, I'm going to choose the new project, test project, and then I'm going to try a camera control mode. Because of camera control mode, we're able to capture the different frame, then we can create masking on it. So here I'm trying to start to record. So this function requires me to take 250 pictures, so it's going to take a while. It's not a video recording, so I'm starting to record now. So to make things better, I'm going to fast forward until the next the record is finished. Okay, once we finish, right, so the software will generate the point cloud based on the 200 pictures that you created. So we have to wait for a while for it to analyze the images. So I'm going to fast forward this until the image is finalized and we have the 3D model. Alright, so once it's finished analyzed, you can see that yes, is the overall layout. It just look like how RealityScan on the PC version, the software version. So we have the various camera take from different angles. So we have 250 pictures here. You can see this is surrounding the modules to get the precise data to create the 3D scan. So I'm using a lot of 3D software and for my other modules for 3D scanning, right? And I can find that actually the RealityScan is actually one of the best because it's able to use the masking function, where actually we can take out the background of the image. Okay, so eventually we just going to create alpha mask. So now we're going to go into process project first by choosing a project name. Okay, make sure the project name will appear as the file name. And then we're going to make sure the mask resolution is high. So probably want to get a higher resolution as possible. Okay, normal is okay, but it's going to be less polygon. Alright, so here I'm going to name it as Reality Capture Tutorial. Okay, I'm also going to make sure the spool mesh is on. Then texture resolution is 8K. Then we'll press process. So take a while. So over here you can see the thumbnail there. The file is actually in processing. So you come out to see that RealityScan is trying to process, and as part of the Epic Games ecosystem, this is actually a very useful tool to use for 3D scan using just the mobile. And I'm going to fast forward this, so when the scan is ready, we can actually check the 3D model. Okay, it's done already. So you can see here the model is about 294,000 polygon, and look at it, it looks looking good. And with this scan model, you can see that actually the background is actually masked out. So this is the best function I like about RealityScan, the mobile version, is that we're able to take out the background as compared to other softwares. So we have two options. Now we can actually export the 3D model, we can actually use it in Unreal, or we can actually share on Sketchfab. So on the moment, I just kind of turn around and see that there's actually not much defect, and it's pretty good. So I'm going to share this model on Sketchfab, and then it's actually quite useful because Sketchfab is part of Epic Games ecosystem, so we actually can share things straight away on Sketchfab. So here I'm just trying to set up what category you want to refer this project as, and you could make the project public, and you can actually tap a RealityScan and captures, okay, and it's got a little bit of a project, just as usually how you do in Sketchfab. Okay, so I'm gonna tag Unreal, okay, Reality Capture, then gonna describe a bit because they get that way with on Sketchfab, people can actually have an idea what is it about. Just a short description is okay. Okay, I'm gonna make the project public, and definitely this is a non-Node AI, so I'm gonna click on Node AI. I'm gonna publish it on Sketchfab by clicking the share on Sketchfab button. So you can see that the percentage of the Sketchfab is running, and then once it's done, you can actually click on the link, or we can go to Sketchfab. Okay, so here we can see that it's already shared to Sketchfab. We actually can click on the view on Sketchfab button to proceed. Now I'm going to try also export my model as OBJ. So when you export, they actually can send it to a Google Drive, then into a phone. So we can put in a folder. That way you can actually download it on the PC later on. So here you see that it's actually uploading the entire folder with the 3D model and the texture. Right, fantastic. Looking good so far, the project. Okay, I'm going to click on leave it on Sketchfab. So once you load on Sketchfab, it is what it is that you see on Sketchfab, and because it's online, you probably can need a while. But what you see here is actually a pretty good version of the quality that we can just scan with Sketchfab with RealityScan, and then I'm going to see that none other scanner actually can achieve really high quality 3D scan. Eventually, this is the Reality Capture software that actually used to scan a lot of mega scan crystal objects, and this is pretty good. Okay, you can use as a showcase, or you want to use it. You can download also the 3D file from Sketchfab if needed. Here, you actually all the Sketchfab function that you can check, like how does the base color, what's the texture, how the final render, your lighting, and also you can see the wireframing. You can see this very dense of 200 over goes to 300,000 polygon. Okay, pretty good. And anything else in Sketchfab, we can able to use it to check using the math tab, and you can see actually how the normal map. The normals is actually quite a bit much because it's actually trying to capture all the details in using the normals, and also the surface actually has polygon. So once we're done with Sketchfab, you can see that we can also see how the texture works, how the UV checkers. Okay, once we are done, we can move on to Unreal to import it into Unreal. And now we're actually in Unreal Engine 5.6. So the first thing we're going to do is actually we have this content browser, and then we're going to import the files inside. So we can see there's only 4 objects in the folder, and there's a texture. This is the diffuse texture and the normal matte texture. So all the Reality Capture will actually create 2 textures default. So now I'm going to create a new folder. So I'm going to name it Reality Capture. Right, so what we're going to do is, okay, we're going to drag the file inside. So the only thing we want to drag is actually, we want to drag the OBJ, or we can drag all 3 items if we need, because OBJ usually needs to export together with the dasher. So once here we check everything as usual, the import function, and probably I'm going to make sure we don't create new dasher. So I'm going to turn off all this creating new material, including import dashers. Yeah, because I import them separately. Okay, once I'm done, press import, and then guys have this. Okay, I got a dasher inside, and the 3D will come in later on. Now make sure you always save the file, because anything is crashed, you can actually lost the file. Okay, now I'm going to save the map. Okay, so when we save, our first thing is that, okay, probably gonna create a material first. Okay, so because we can check in the dasher here, this dasher is pretty much okay, and then the normal map is pretty much okay, we can use it. Okay, so we actually don't have a material, okay, for the 3D model. So if I double click, and you'll see that actually the model is actually very small. Okay, so it's kind of the relative scales of the Reality Capturel. It is not proportional to 1:1, so we have to scale it once we put into Unreal. So I'm going to create a material first, because we need a material to put in the dasher. So we're going to create a new material and type Reality Capture _M stands for material. Right then, so we're in the material editor, so we're going to set up a very simple material. So first thing, bring the diffuse dasher and as well as the normal dasher, and then just kind of point the base color, okay, the diffuse dasher to base color and the normal dasher to normal. Once we're done, I'm going to turn down the specular to 0, because we want to see pure 3D model without any metallic or specularity on the model first. Okay, there you go, very simple setup. Okay, once we're done, okay, we're going to open up the 3D model again in the mesh editor. We're going to replace the texture into the material. Okay, very well done. So once done, okay, so remember to save. Then going to pull the 3D model into the scene, because it's so small now, you can't really see it. Yeah, but if you press F, it will actually zoom into that object. So what we're going to do is actually going to scale out the whole thing to about maybe 1000%, so you can see that the model is obvious. So I'm going to rotate it to 90 degrees to make sure, because it's the RealityScan, the way is the axis actually is 90 degrees from the usual Unreal axis. So now what we're going to do is actually, okay, so you see that if the material itself is working wisely, so we have the character well texture, no detail, it looks very detailed. Yeah, looking good so far. Just without any lighting in the moment. So I'm going to turn off the grid, and this could be a very good portfolio showcase if you're doing a 3D scanning stuff. Okay, the next one we're going to do is actually we're going to make lighting to the scene. So I'm going to go to Windows and use an environment light mixer, and also going to just create all the function here. Click all the function on top of it. And you have all the setup is required for optimal environment lighting. You'll see the lighting have the sun, and we can look at that. Actually, the character is actually backlit, so we actually choose the light direction light. At the moment you see, if we try to choose the light, and since it's not there, so we actually the character is not in the 0 origin. So we're gonna move the object into the 0 object and press F. So now we can see the other object. So we're gonna move directional light and the other actors away, so we kind of have the object not clustered together. Okay, next thing is actually rotate the directional light, so we can kind of get one directional, where the lighting comes from left and then the shadows on the right. So over here you can see that once we have the lighting, right, so when you have lighting, a lot of times the surface is bumpy, right, you actually get you can see the unevenness of the 3D scan. Okay, so we're just going to tone down the lighting intensity and still get something like this. So at the end of the day, this is how you can actually just put a simple import of the 3D scan object. Okay, if you're using the RealityScan mobile app, you just need to export the files and then actually import into Unreal at the end. So I can feel it's a bit empty, so I'm going to maybe put a ground, okay, a floor. Okay, when I put the floor, we can actually mesh out so the object is not floating, but instead it is actually standing on top of the floor, Okay, there you go. I'm going to double check whether it's any cropping around. So I think turn down the snapping grid. Okay, you can see that because optimal already. There you go. So you can see that object does cast shadow. And looking good so far. It turned out with lighting, sometimes you have to 3D scan, you probably want to the lighting a bit lesser because a lot of details kind of like can push forward. So here I'm trying out with removing the texture from the normal map. You can see that actually the bumpiness comes from the 3D model itself, not from the normal map. Yeah, so definitely we have to maybe do some optimization on the mesh before bringing it to Unreal if needed to.